Welcome to the regular meeting of the Town Council of the Town of Morristown. Margot, please take it away.
For the benefit of the public, I will take another roll call. Councilwoman Foster. Here. Councilman Iannacone is excused this evening. Councilwoman Lindsay. Here. Councilman Polipchuk.
Here.
Councilman Russo.
Here.
Councilman Silva.
Present.
And Council President Umbriac.
Here.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Let's please pause for a moment of silence.
Keep Fire Chief Gary Dejean in our thoughts and prayers as his funeral was today. Great service to our town as the fire chief and to his men on the fire department in Marshall.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me. Okay, before we get started, just a quick announcement. There are two pieces of legislation on the agenda tonight, Ordinance O-26-2025 and Resolution R-90-2025. I did want to let council and members of the public know that there will be a presentation on the Special Improvement District on July 10th, prior to the public hearing and adoption of the ordinance and the budget. Okay, we have 3 items on the consent agenda. I think I'll take 1 and 3 together.
Sure.
If I could get a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda items 1 and 3.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Polipchuk.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Umbriac.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2 is a facilities use request by Our Youth Their Future for their Caribbean picnic on July 19th, 2025 in Granby Park.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda item number 2.
Second.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Or do you want to abstain?
Oh, I can abstain.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Polipchuk.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
And Council President Umbriac.
Yes.
Okay. At this time, I will open the floor for a public hearing on any matter. When called upon, please approach the microphone, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Be advised that any derogatory comments targeting members of council and/or administration may be ruled out of order.
Kristen Ace, please come up.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kristen Ace. I live at 24 Franklin Street, and I'm here representing the Morristown Shade Tree Commission. Just a couple of announcements. Susan and John Landau of the Shade Tree Commission and Friends of Foots Pond Wood received a Zone Civic Improvement Accommodation Award from the Morristown Garden Club for their forest remediation and regeneration efforts in Foots Pond. So well-deserved. Also, our amazing DPW set up all the logs in Foots Pond Wood for class teachings. So we all know it's been proven that children learn better and retain better information when they learn in actually a forested environment. And it's exciting that our town is participating in this kind of education. We have placed 3 habitat tree signs, one in Foots Pond, 1 in Lidgerwood, and 1 will be in Burnham Park. It's called a habitat tree or a snag, and that is to educate the public on why leaving a dead tree in place, topped off properly, is healthy for wildlife and bird life. And the third thing is that the Shade Tree Commission has been made aware of an issue that is affecting our tree canopy in the green. So while the green is a private-run part of Morristown, its tree canopy is still very important to the Shade Tree Commission and the town as a whole. We were asked to look at the food truck, which is parked under the tree canopy, and we noted that a large black plume of concentrated pollution smoke goes directly into the canopy that supplies shade to that part of the green. While we understand this truck has been active at this spot for some time, it's important to note that this kind of sustained concentrated pollution will eventually be deadly for the trees. Our hope is that a solution can be found that allows people to continue to enjoy the food truck without damaging the tree canopy. One thing to keep in the front of our minds is that the green is the only place in the business district with a mature canopy. So the canopy is extremely important to that part of the business district. And then our next Shade Tree Commission meeting is Tuesday, June 17th at 7 p.m. in room 201 in the town hall. And we are still looking for 3 members to fill our commission. And we need them because we have a lot of work to do. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Kristen. Mr. Byrne.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Bill Byrne, and I live at 100 Franklin Street. I was walking in Morristown, and on one of the sidewalks, as you're walking down towards in town, there's a tree. It's in the middle of the sidewalk, and it's, and if somebody's in a wheelchair and they're gonna come down the sidewalk, there's not enough room on the sidewalk. It's sort of like in the middle of the sidewalk. So I don't know how you can address that, but it is an ADA issue because you can't have a tree or even a mailbox blocking the sidewalk. It's an ADA violation. So, we gotta do something about that.
Bill, just to confirm, it's a mailbox. You said tree initially, but
Well,
when you told me
yeah,
initially,
well-
you said
Well,
mailbox.
one's a mailbox.
Okay.
But then I was walking down in town, and there's a tree in the middle of the sidewalk, like, that's sort of like blocking the sidewalk, so if somebody's coming down, that's an issue too. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Thanks, Bill. Yes, come on up.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Alice Cutler. I live at 36 Collis Avenue, longtime resident. I want to thank Kristen for her comments about the Morristown Green. I am president of the trustees of the Morristown Green. You've heard from me before back in the fall, along with other trustees. I think many of you received the letter that I sent back on March 18th addressing the issue with food trucks. I love the food truck. We all love food trucks. I'm not here to complain about the food truck, but the result that we're dealing with the food truck. Kristen very smartly commented on the exhaust and the fumes. Well, if it's impacting the trees, it's certainly impacting all of our health. We've had an issue with garbage. We're buying more bins to deal with the garbage as a result. There's been issues. Well, for one thing, the truck is larger. If you take a look at the ordinance, the truck really shouldn't be there because the truck is really a trailer and it's bigger than the space according to the ordinance. So I hope you'll all take a look at that. There's got to be other places in Morristown for the food trailer to go, and I hope you'll really consider the impact to the green and the impact to all of our health. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cutler. Anyone else from the public? I will close public session. Responses. So Kristen Ace, thank you for coming and sharing your update. I volunteered at my children's class 2 weeks ago for Science Day, and we went out to the outdoor classroom, which was really nice. And Mr. Landau was there, even with his arm in a sling. So it is a great resource, and I know my kids love it. In terms of the food truck for Ms. Cutler and Kristen Ace, we do have a subcommittee that we had created for the food truck, and I know that they had some conversations with the vendor. Perhaps we can have another conversation with the vendor and ask if they would be willing to look into potentially getting a better exhaust system, some type of system. I've noticed as well, walking up to the green during the day, there's long lines at the food truck. It's doing great business, but there's also a cloud, a plume of smoke. So certainly that is, a concern for the residents, for our visitors, for the tree canopy. So if we can ask our subcommittee or task our subcommittee to meet again with the vendor. And finally, Mr. Byrne, I know you mentioned about, with me, the mailbox. We'll talk offline about where this tree is that's blocking the sidewalk. And then I can bring in the administration or Kristen Ace, depending on the situation. Any other responses from council?
In regard to the truck, yes, we can meet with the vendor to check on the exhaust system. In regard to the size of the truck, if you read the ordinance carefully, it is not what it has been stated by the trustees. I mean, it's not like it has to be certain size. And I think Ms. Kai can give us some input on that, because you have been reading the ordinance, right?
Off the top of my head, I do not know the exact dimensions that are laid
Yes.
out in the ordinance, but I can certainly look into that and follow up tomorrow
Okay,
with that
perfect.
information.
yes, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to move forward with the mayor's proclamations and presentations. You're up, Councilman.
Yay. Steve's going to accept, Steve Wojcik, our Councilman Third Ward, is going to accept this proclamation on behalf of the LGBTQ plus community. You wanted to just mention the organization?
Yep, move the mic, please. Thank you.
She can't hear, but she can see.
So the organization is United Voices Morris. It was formed very recently, a very grassroots organization formed late last year, advocating for LGBTQ plus youth in schools and education equity. So they've already done a lot of great events here in Morristown. They've partnered with the Presbyterian Church and, the Methodist Church, and they've brought in some great speakers already, and advocating for equality for them.
So we'll read this into the record, and then you'll present it to them.
I will.
We appreciate that. Recognizing June 2025 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month in Morristown. June is recognized as Pride Month, a time to honor and uplift the LGBTQ plus community, celebrate its culture, acknowledge the progress made towards equality. According to GLAAD, Pride Month commemorates the anniversary of Stonewall Rebellion on June 28th, 1969 in New York City, sparked by frequent police raids on LGBTQ plus spaces. The patrons of Stonewall Inn stood up against injustice, igniting a movement that became the foundation of the modern LGBTQ plus movement, rights and movement. Pride Month serves as a monument to both celebrate its achievements and reflect on the work that remains. It is a time to reaffirm our commitment to protecting the rights, dignity, and freedoms of LGBTQ plus individuals, and to foster unity through celebration and visibility. Upholding laws that combat hate crimes, ensure equal rights, prohibit discrimination in education, housing, and employment, and support equal adoption rights for all those are vital to building a stronger, more inclusive society. Morristown's vibrancy is rooted in the rich diversity of its residents, including their ethnic, cultural, racial, gender, and sexual identities. All residents of Morristown are encouraged to support our LGBTQ plus community and to help ensure that everyone can live openly, safely, and with dignity, bolstered by the support of its peers, educators, community members, and local leaders. Now therefore, I, Timothy P. Doherty, Mayor of the Town of Morristown, hereby proclaim June 2025 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month in Morristown. I encourage all residents to take part in Pride Month events and to continue to advancing the cause of equal rights for all citizens. And if you notice, we do fly our Pride flag every year in this month. And thank you again, Councilman, for taking this and doing that. And get a picture here. Turn it that way, please. Thank you. I'll run through this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, first let me, our chairwoman of the Shade Tree Commission, two things, Kristen, follow up on the issue of the tree in the middle of the sidewalk. I think I know where he's talking about, but I'm not 100% sure. And also, I did get a couple of compliments on the identification that you're putting on the trees randomly from people, which is like, you know, who did that? I said, our Shade Tree Commission. So it's kind of cool that people are recognizing and understanding what they're looking at. I think it's really important. So thank you for that initiative and what you do for our tree canopy. I just want to, don't forget this Mayor Donna Cuculari from Morris Township and Mayor Carr from Morristown and myself spoke to the 8th graders at Frelinghuysen their graduating class at Freeland Eisen on the ins and outs of government. It was kind of cool. And then we got to sit with a handful of achievers in the 8th grade, and they talked to us privately on questions. That was kind of cool. And one of them was my neighbor, which she's like, "Don't you know who I am?" And it was kind of good. So that was really cool. And we appreciate Freeland Eisen reaching out and getting government involved with the 8th graders and able to tell them as they're going from 8th grade to 9th grade, wherever they go to school. It's a big transition. For those who can think back far enough to remember what it was like to be high on the totem pole in 8th grade and then go back to low on the totem pole as a freshman.
Yep.
It's a big change, and it's stressful. And the world these kids live in today is stressful enough. I was happy to see that the school was involving government. I think they should do it more. Saturday, May 31st, I want to thank the council members that came out to Uma Flowers, the cannabis dispensary that the council passed and implemented, our only dispensary in the town of Morristown, and wish them continued success. Wednesday, June 4th, was the senior summer kickoff party upstairs, which was well attended, and Kathy did a great job, and all the volunteers that helped for the summer senior kickoff. It was a lot of people. On Saturday, June 7th, we had the Wear Orange rally hosted by the Evertown for gun safety. The moms were there for the gun violence. It was a little rainy, so thank you for all that came out to that. Councilman Lipchek, and people came from, other elected officials came from other communities, which was really nice to see. Assembly person came, a commissioner came, a state senator came. So it is important to recognize that the work that those women do on a daily basis to bring recognition to gun violence and how it affects not just obviously the people that get shot by guns and it's affected, but the family members and the public that gets affected as a result of gun violence. So hats off to what they do every year in and out. June 8th, I want to thank those who worked at the Speedwell Lake cleanup hosted by the Morristown Clean Communities in partnership with the Morristown Jewish Center. Thank you to Clean Communities for organizing and to those who all volunteered. I don't know who was there. Councilman Cruz Russo, thank you. How'd it go?
Went very well. I'll be honest with you, there wasn't much to clean up though, so I think they just doing before that, so it was very clean to begin with, so.
That's always good.
Yeah.
On Saturday, June 14th, Our Youth, Their Future is holding their annual Youth Education and Awareness Rally at Colwell.
Yes.
That is at what time?
1 p.m.?
1 p.m. It's going to be 72 and sunny.
Yes.
There you go.
Kids will exist.
All right. And on the 17th, on Tuesday, 17th, Freeland Eisen Middle School 8th grade graduation. It's invitation only. Congratulations to the 8th graders on their graduation. Wednesday, the 18th, Morristown High School graduation. I'll be there. So congratulations to the
I have a senior
high schoolers.
graduating.
Yeah, I know you do. Sunday, the 22nd, at 11 a.m. to 5:30, William Butchie Barber Day at Colwell Park. That's Sunday, June 22nd, 11 to 5. And Sunday, June 28th, this is, mark your calendars, it's on the 28th. We'll get this out early. It's on the website, and put out your email chains. On Saturday, June 28th, 11 to 1 p.m., free rabies vaccination clinic, Town Hall lobby. Pre-registration is not required. Any questions, call Animal Control at 973-292-6731. Again, that's Saturday the 28th, 11 to 1, free rabies vaccination clinic. And I know a lot of people take advantage of that. There's a ton of people that come with their pets. It's kind of a fun day. And then this special announcement, just to one, to congratulate all our graduates that are graduating this year, is our former Morristown Fire Chief Gary Desjean at 66, passed away on June 6, 2025. Throughout his 26-year career, Gary held the titles of firefighter, fire protection subcode official, fire captain, deputy fire chief, and finally, fire chief, before he retired in June 2011. On behalf of the Morristown community and the Morristown employees, the most heartfelt condolences go out to his family and friends. His funeral was today. Thank you to our police chief, the fire department, I believe the sheriff department were involved, maybe another organization, as they gave him a great send-off. And want to just recognize him publicly again. And the town of Morristown should be grateful for his leadership and how he guarded over our town for all those years as a firefighter and the steps he took all the way to get to fire chief. All right, and that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, other presentations and reports. There's a bond anticipation note certificate of determination for information purposes only. So we'll move forward with council liaison reports. Councilwoman Lindsay, no report. No report. Councilman Polipchuk.
Sure. It's a little weird because we were meeting after the partnership meeting for a change.
Yeah.
So they had a meeting yesterday, a couple minor items, not really minor, but they're moving forward with the power washing downtown. So 5 miles of sidewalk is going to be power washed over, I think it's a 10-day period it's going to take. They're going to be coordinating with the administration to make that happen, and all the announcements and notifications to the business owners will be going out. They're also working with a landscape architecture firm to do some concept designs of the little traffic triangles randomly throughout town that are always forgotten and can use some beautification. And then I got a ton of exhibits. Thank you, Jen. The partnership is hosting a networking event for their businesses on this coming Monday, June 16th, 5:30 to 7. So if anyone needs information about it, please let me know. Council as well. Morristown Farmers Market is starting up this Sunday. It's going to run June 15th through the 23rd in the Lot 10 behind Morristown Diner. It's always a great turnout and a lot of great vendors there. And also as part of it, the Star Ledger and J.com Summer in Morristown. So I'll pass these out to you guys so you have some. But it was a great write-up on small businesses in town, the farmers market, and some other things in here. And then the big ticket items, they're very excited to see Schedule A moving forward at this meeting being introduced. It's going to be the first time in 30 years that it is actually updated, and it's well needed. And also their budget is being introduced in this meeting, and it was unanimously passed on their end. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Nice to see the partnership in the room.
Yeah, thank you.
Councilman Russo.
Not much going on the planning board, a couple meetings in the next couple of weeks, but pretty quiet for the most part.
Thank you. Councilman Silva.
Morris Parking Authority will meet next Wednesday, June 18th.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Margot, we can move to regular business.
Okay. There are 3 ordinances for introduction this evening. Ordinance number O-24-2025, an ordinance of the state of, an ordinance of the town of Morristown and the county of Morris, state of New Jersey for compensation for the elected mayor, town council members, and council president in the town of Morristown, New Jersey, and amending all ordinances concerning such compensation heretofore adopted.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-24-2025.
Second?
Any comments or questions? On the introduction of ordinance O-24, Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Polipchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Ordinance O-24-2025 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on June 24th. Ordinance number O-25-2025, an ordinance of the town of Morristown and the county of Morris, state of New Jersey for compensation for management/non-union positions in the town of Morristown, New Jersey, and amending all ordinances concerning such compensation heretofore adopted.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-25-2025.
Second?
Any comments or questions? On the introduction of ordinance O-25, Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Polipchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Ordinance O-25-2025 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on June 24th. Ordinance number O-26-2025, ordinance amending and revising ordinance O-42-1993, which creates a special improvement district within the town of Morristown and designated district management corporation.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-26-2025.
Second?
Are there any comments or questions?
It's just a quick comment. I wanted to say it before and I forgot, but I've been intimately acquainted to this for the past year and a half, working with the partnership, so just to not gloss over what it is, it's amending the Schedule A. So the Special Improvement District is a set border in town, and the properties that are subject to it are named by block and lot and address. Throughout the years, as redevelopment, lots get consolidated, addresses change, they fall off that Schedule A. You know, they still get all the benefits of being in the Special Improvement District, but they no longer have to pay into it. So all this is doing is amending it so that every property that should be in it is now in it again. It's the first time in 30 years we're updating it. And as part of it too, we're putting in a yearly trigger so that we don't run another 30 years without it happening. So this way, you know, it's not going to be an issue, hopefully, going forward. So.
Thank you. And yeah, I'd just like to say thank you to Jennifer and her team at the partnership. I know this is a long time coming. I'm happy that we were able to move forward with this, and not just with the sidewalks, but the other things that will benefit the town. And I want to thank Councilman Steve Polipchuk for helping to make that happen as well. So very happy to move forward with this.
Okay. On the introduction of ordinance O-26-2025, Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Polipchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Ordinance O-26-2025 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on July 10th. There is one ordinance for public hearing and adoption, and that's ordinance number O-23-2025, an ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the town of Morristown, Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 40.2, handicap parking on streets for private residences, to amend the placard number assigned to a dedicated parking space for a resident of 12 Clinton Street.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number O-23-2025.
Second?
At this time, I'll open the floor for a public hearing on ordinance O-23-2025 only. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions from council?
Nope.
On the adoption of ordinance O-23-2025, Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Polipchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance O-23-2025 is adopted. There are 14 resolutions on the agenda. I do want to make a quick announcement that Resolution R-80-2025, that is the renewal for the former FOMO. That is to be renewed without conditions, as that license is now in pocket. Okay?
Thank you.
Would any members of council like to pull any resolutions for separate consideration?
90s, please.
I'm sorry?
90?
90?
Yeah.
Are there any others? With that, I would ask for a motion, please, to adopt resolution numbers R-77-2025 through R-89-2025.
I will make that motion.
Second?
On the adoption of those 13 resolutions, Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Polipchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-90-2025, a resolution introducing the 2025 budget of the Morristown Partnership Special Improvement District.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Councilman.
I just want to make a comment to council. I had an extensive conversation with Jen Waring and also Bob Anacone. If anyone wants an explanation on the budget, wants to sit down with Jen, I'd be happy to facilitate that. Jen's already volunteered to do it, so please let me know.
Thank you very much.
Council President, I also understand they're going to be making a presentation at the July 10th meeting, which coincides with the adoption of the consideration for adoption of the budget.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay.
Good.
On the adoption of Resolution R-90-2025, Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Polipchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution is adopted.
Thank you, Margot. We have no unfinished old business or new business, so I will make a motion to